Malaysia is extremely welcoming country to foreigners. Their immigration officers are very easy to deal with and immigration procedures are really straightforward. One of the easiest way for you to be able to live in Malaysia is hassle-free Malaysian My Second Home program, or commonly referred to as MM2H. In the recent couple of years, they were making some changes in that program. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you what the newest changes are and how you can benefit from those. Hello, I'm Jovana from Nomad Capitalist, where I help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs legally reduce their taxes, change their lifestyle, protect their wealth, and obtain multiple residence and passports. And one of the countries that has been really on the top of list of many of our clients, but also many of our attendees at the event has been Malaysia. The easiest way to immigrate to Malaysia is through a hassle-free Malaysian My Second Home program. It is a passive bank deposit program. It does not give you a right to work in Malaysia. It does just give you a right to stay and live in Malaysia for indefinite period through the year. So if you want to live full-time in Malaysia, you can do that through this program. A couple of days before New Year, Malaysian government came with new rules for this program. So previously, they were requiring 1 million Malaysian ringgit fixed deposit. They were requiring monthly income or 40,000 Malaysian ringgit. That was supposed to be offshore income. And they were requiring you to be 35 in order to apply and spend 90 days per year in Malaysia in order to keep your MM2H permit. But they came with new rules in order to make it more attractive. So previously, if we're looking 5 years ago, Malaysian MM2H program was very attractive. They didn't require any physical presence. They did change it after pandemic to be slightly more high level in terms of entry point and required that physical presence, but it didn't give them good results that they were hoping for. So they did a new revision and they are coming up with new rules. So what those new rules are? Basically, you'll have an opportunity to choose between 2 tiers. A silver tier gives you a 5 years stay permit that is renewable. And you can get it by depositing in Malaysian bank 500,000 Malaysian ringgit. Then we have a gold tier. This would give you a 15 years renewable permit or deposit 2 million Malaysian ringgit on a fixed deposit account in Malaysian bank. It has to be bank in Malaysia, cannot be anywhere offshore. And finally, which is really the biggest surprise, we have platinum tier that gives you a permanent residence permit. That was previously almost impossible and definitely not granted immediately. So this tier gives you a permanent residence permit if you deposit 5 million Malaysian ringgit in a fixed deposit account in Malaysian bank. So previously this program required 1 million Malaysian ringgit in fixed deposit for all applicants, half of which you would be able to withdraw after first year for the purpose of tourism in the country or for the purpose of purchasing a property. Based on the current regulation, that stays the same, so you can withdraw a portion of your money after the first year. And they have added a requirement now that if you're using that money for real estate purchase, minimum purchase price for a silver and gold tier has to be 750,000 Malaysian ringgit. So that's a new thing. Besides that, there are a couple other requirements that applies for all 3 categories. They reduced the age limit from 35 to 30. So now everyone above 30 years old can apply for MM2H. It is possible to add parents and in-laws and include them in your application. There is no additional deposit or additional payment for that, only just processing fees. So the only rule is that they have to be older than 60. Also, you can now add your kid that is up to 34 years old, as long as a person is not working in Malaysia and is unmarried. So whether they're financially dependent on you or not, it's not important. So what is important is age, that they're unmarried, and that they're not working in Malaysia. There's one big serious improvement, and that is physical presence. So if you're anywhere from 30 to 49 years old, you don't have to stay in Malaysia under this regulation. You can, but you don't have to, as long as your dependents, so whether that's spouse, kids, parents, or in-laws, and you can bring all of them on one application, as long as that they cumulatively spend 60 days a year in Malaysia. If you're 50 plus years old, then you would need to spend 60 days per year in Malaysia, you and your dependents. So again, if you are not, it is pretty flexible in terms of your physical presence and physical presence for your dependents. So this is a very welcome introduction. Obviously, they moved it from 90 days per year or 3 months to now 60 or 0. So if you want to have this option, but you don't want to, at least at this moment, or you cannot commit to spend 60 days per year in Malaysia, you can add your in-laws to the application. I'm sure they would greatly benefit from amazing Malaysian healthcare system and have them spend time instead of you. So based on new requirement, it seems that this 40,000 Malaysian ringgit requirement in offshore income is going away. They haven't mentioned it. It's not even in the document. So that is a relatively nice introduction. So you don't have to worry about, committing. You don't have to worry about showing this amount of money. When it comes to the process, it seems that everything will stay the same. It's relatively straightforward process. It does not take long. Obviously, some of the important factors are to open that fixed deposit account in Malaysia. We can recommend you a couple of very good Malaysian banks that we work with. Or also what is the requirement is to have Malaysian medical insurance. This will cover any medical costs that you might have there. That is obviously especially important if you are bringing your dependents. And I can tell you, based on a personal experience, Malaysian healthcare is amazing. So bringing your parents and in-laws under your application and giving them this opportunity, they would be really thankful and really can improve their health. So when it comes to those new rules, they are very welcome changes. They are interesting. Obviously, it does not make MM2H the most competitive program in Southeast Asia. Citizenship option is still not available. Though they are giving permanent residence, they were previously very restrictive in who they are giving permanent residence. So as far as I'm concerned, I will believe in this when I see it. So once they process the first permanent residence and give to MM2H visa holder, I will believe it. So I do believe that they might make certain changes when it comes to permanent residence and possibly remove this option, given that it is rather high deposit, but it is still interesting. It is a welcome improvement, given that it means that Malaysia is thinking about opening up their immigration system even more. As I said previously, citizenship was not possible even if you spent a long time in Malaysia. Again, these are non-working permits. So if you're interested in working in Malaysia for Malaysian-based companies, you will need to apply for a work permit, and then in that case, you cannot be an MM2H holder. Also, Malaysia is still territorial tax country. They are making certain changes from 2026. So they are introducing more worldwide taxation, but still remitted income, again, based on what they published, is not going to be taxable. In order to become a tax resident in Malaysia, you would need to spend 6 months there or really maintain strong connections to Malaysia. But again, everything that you do not remit, even in that period after 2026, is not going to be taxable in Malaysia. So it makes it one of great options if you are interested in living there. Obviously, cost of living are much lower compared to some other bigger Southeast Asian cities, compared to Bangkok, compared to Phuket. They are slightly higher compared to Jakarta. Whether you are interested in MM2H or really any other program in this world, subscribe to this channel for more news.